All right, so here it is. I'm a little bit more awake. I've played a little bit more of both games, and I will distinctively say versus both, which one you should get is still going to be the initial decision that Surge 2 has it hands down. It's more of a Dark Souls experience, but it's completely different. It's more specialized, and it's easier to transition into that. I mean, but if you're into the anime thing, and you're into the Final Fantasy with the huge swords, not saying that Surge 2 does not have those huge weapons, but it's definitely more of a fantasy, exuberant, exaggerative experience. Um, the difficulty curve is just way down there on Code Vein. I mean, I've been through a couple of bosses, and I mean, I've seen a couple of things, instances where the weapons are really cool. I mean, it's not a bad game, but I mean, Surge 2, I love the stuff that you can do with it. I love the fact that you can get different power armor, and each one has, and each weapon has its own things in Code Vein, in different stuff like that. But it's just a Code Vein is just a different type of experience. But for me personally, I would say the Surge 2. If you are a fan of like Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, I mean, it's almost as if From Software made the Surge 2, in all honesty, and it would be like almost an adaptation where you have, they have the knight in shining armor type era. I mean, the kingdom, that kind of fantasy atmosphere. Then you have the Gothic Victorian age, as opposed to the Dark Ages in Dark Souls. But you have that in Bloodborne, where it's kind of like a very gritty, Gothic, Victorian almost, steampunk at some points. And then you have Sekiro, which is like a 16th century martial arts shinobi, ninja type action. I mean, it's all fantasy and within those realms. And then you have the Surge, which is I could easily see if that they would go down that route. I mean, they I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't at some faction of something, because I mean, until Neo came around, I don't know if Sekiro would have actually been spawned into an existence. But they did it really well. Sekiro is a very great game. I love that game, and I like the lore behind it. Surge does not have the lore behind a From Software game. And the lore that is in Code Vein is... I didn't really get into the lore because I'll be skipping on that stuff because I'm just not there with Code Vein yet. So I'll be going back to Surge 2, but I did want to bring you a little bit more updated, a little bit more information on a solid pick. If you're just looking to get one on there, figure out what you want to buy. If you don't buy both of them and put one on the shelf, then I would go with Surge 2 first. If anything, play the Surge 1. You can pick that up for like under $20. So, I mean, check it out. It's a solid title as well. So, but anyway, in the versus battle, comprehensively, within a week, toe to toe, Surge 2 wins.